Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got with us Mr. Godless Scummer.
Oi, oi.
Mr. BadTemperedBadger.
Yes.
Miss Jen's Lil Corner.
Hi.
Miss Godless Granny.
Hello.
And Miss Momma Atheist.
Hi.
I'm not used to saying Momma Atheist.
That's fine. That's fine. And,
I know.
and
I got.
Not forget, we have a very special guest today, Rick.
Oh.
What?
And we expect you to get all the answers right because you're the smartest man in the universe.
I'm fairly certain he gets everything wrong.
You'd probably get them deliberately wrong to throw everyone off and then just drink a lot.
Right. Our first question today. Question 499. Bad?
Not me.
That's Manda.
That's still not me.
Oh, it's Manda. Oh, it is too.
Yeah.
It's one or other of us because we both have similar microphone problems.
I'll do the question. Question 499. Have you ever been in the proximity of one of your heroes and been too shy to say anything to them?
Yeah, actually, yes. Well, when I was about 18, I in a pub, and Matt Letizia was on the table next to me, and I was like, "Do I say something?" Well, no, it's like I was kind of like, "No, leave him alone." He's, you know.
Okay, who is he?
He's a footballer for Southampton Football Club. And he was a sporting hero of mine growing up.
I have to say, I just assumed that.
Yes.
I should have assumed that. Okay, who is it now?
That's still Manda?
It's Manda.
Yeah, it's Manda.
It is Manda.
I can make it be me if you like.
No. Yours is worse than hers. That's the worst thing. It's just we can't do it.
Why don't we let Manda answer the question now, and then she can mute again afterwards?
I blame the trans-dimensional citadel of Rex.
I think we just blame Matthew because he's not on the panel.
That's right. I think he's in the chat though.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's always. Of course he's in the chat. I wonder why he's in the chat.
I thought he was attacking things with a chainsaw.
Oh yeah, he was.
I'm muted. He's not. Is he in the chat? I didn't see him.
No, I saw him at the very start,
think
20 minutes before.
Yeah, right at the very start.
You know, he's busy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the question, Dave? Oh,
Have you?
Everything, please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Proximity of a hero, but too shy to actually say anything.
Not the.
That
I
was easy.
mean, I just can't think of
I-
anybody that I've been around. You know, I mean,
Do you have
Yeah.
to have been in the same room, or was it just an opportunity to talk to them?
Oh,
I'll go with just an opportunity to talk to them.
Okay.
I made this whole
When-
situation really awkward as well. after you, Jen, sorry.
Sorry?
Did you have one, or are you just waving your hand?
I do have one. I actually do.
Go first.
When I've been organising the show that Mira and I are going to be doing, where we're our first up show, we're interviewing Dr. Carl Kruzaniski. I've been talking to him on Twitter, and I messaged him, and he said, "I don't really like talking on Twitter. Here's my phone number. Call me." It then took me more than half an hour to get the courage to actually phone the guy, and I got his message back. And then he phoned me back, and I'm like, I think it was a good 5 minutes before we actually had a conversation. And then I was fine. He was awesome, but I was so nervous. So does that count?
No, because you actually talked to him.
Yeah, but I
In
had
the
to. I had no choice.
Okay.
Well, that's the nearest I've got.
I was at a music like a festival, where you go and camp, but not Glastonbury, because Glastonbury is too crowded and it's awful.
You've been to a music festival.
Yes, I've been to several music festivals.
I'm not sure I believe you.
So I was at this music festival, and there was a band that I've rather liked for a while there. This particular music festival, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't go to music festivals anymore. But there was the band I particularly liked, and the sort of the head guy was just strolling through the campsite, and I thought, I'm gonna I'll say hello. And then I saw some other people say hello, and him just looked like, oh, for fuck's sake, another laugh. So then I didn't. But I ended up having to walk the same way as him back to my tent. And I'm pretty sure he thought I was stalking him, because I was just walking like exactly the same route as him, about 20 meters behind him, for about 20 minutes to get back to my tent.
This is just what you've created in your head as an excuse for stalking him, isn't it?
No.
Badger, we do have to ask who this was now.
No, you don't.
Are they
In other
very
words, you could
famous?
ask, but he's not going to answer.
No, not super worldwide well-known thing.
Uh-huh.
it was Hanson. You know that.
Yeah.
You know it was.
Or Bieber.
Bieber.
I was
That
gonna,
was my second choice.
I imagine
was
that
gonna-
Badger is a believer.
I was going to say Chad Kroger from Nickelback.
Ugh.
On a different note, I did meet John St. John once.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who voiced Duke Nukem.
Okay.
I do know what that is. But
He was at a convention I was at, and he did the voice, and it was awesome.
they ruined Duke Nukem.
I can't believe you actually do social things, Badger.
Yeah, I do them, and then I hide for 2 weeks.
Well, could we at least ask which music festival it was then, if you're not going to tell us who bands and who it was?
I can't actually remember the name. It was
Been a good one then.
Have you been to WOMAD?
no. I have been to the Cambridge Folk Festival though, so it might have been that.
I was friends with a folk musician who wasn't that well known in the UK, but quite big in Europe. But he died about 7 or 8 years ago now. But
Well, that took a turn for the down.
yeah, people might be a bit surprised that there's other stuff other than like extreme heavy metal that I listen to. You know, but
We know you have all of Britney's albums.
this probably won't come as too much of a surprise to you, David. But I have met Billy Bragg.
I don't know who that is either.
I do. Hey, I know
Yeah.
something.
You a footballer too?
No, he is a well-known folk singer and lefty. So
That name
That
does
makes
ring a
perfect-
bell. What?
he's a bit.
You realize if Jem Morgan was on this panel, she'd be able to go for half an hour telling us all the famous people she's met.
I know.
I'm
She's-
with Nerdy.
Sorry?
I'm with Nerdy. I have no heroes.
I met the guy who played Admiral Piet as well.
Who?
Okay.
He's a Star Wars character, Dave.
Badger had to go there. See.
Is he the I'm a Trap guy?
He was not that's Admiral
No,
Akbar.
he's-
He's one of the Imperial admirals who he moves up the ranks by all his superiors being force choked by Vader.
Ah.
I met this guy at a convention, and he was really ill. I think he was midway through a flu, but he was kind of obligated to be there because he said he was going to. So he was there greeting everyone, just like, "Hello, I'm dying."
At 9 o'clock hero says, saw Tony Robinson in Tesco once. The look on his face was defiantly, leave me the fuck alone.
He must
That'd be kind of scary.
he must get very tired of people going up to him and saying, "I have a cunning plan."
Yes. I think it's got to be terrible for certain actors that get so associated with one role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Well,
though
did you ever see the Father Ted episode with Richard Wilson from One Foot in the Grave, and Ted kept going up to him and saying, "I don't believe it," and Richard Wilson just turned around and punched him.
Who's the guy who plays Doc in Back to the Future? What's he called?
Christopher
Emmett
Lloyd.
Brown.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
The story of somebody who met Christopher Lloyd and got him to say "Great Scott," and he said it with like the most dead look on his face. Great Scott. Yeah.
I mean, getting associated with one role's one thing, but with like one catchphrase or something, it must be even worse.
I was watching an interview with Patrick Stewart, who was doing Waiting for Godot in the theatre. He says people turn up in Starfleet uniforms
Yeah.
to watch it.
I saw someone turn up. They
Did they
filmed
ask him to
themselves.
say, engage?
Yes.
Constantly.
Make it so, or make it so.
I saw someone turn up at. He was coming out of the theatre from a Shakespeare play, and somebody just turned up dressed as a Klingon, wanted an autograph. He just kind of looked at them and go, "No."
Did anyone see that that video of Patrick Stewart saying "Make it so," where someone put it to "Let it snow"?
Yeah,
Mm.
make it
Christmas.
so, make it so, make it so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Although I think the Ken Hovind one's better.
Which I didn't see that one. What was that one?
Oh, they done Ken Hovind singing "Let It Snow."
Ah, okay.
I'm
My-
going to have to Google that after we finished now.
Haven't you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant.
My
I know
favourite part of the
obviously
Make
I
It-
know the song that
Dave,
was written about
You
him,
haven't
but-
answered the question, Dave.
That's a good point.
I don't have any heroes.
Oh dear.
Oh, I bet that's not true. I mean,
I can't think. I mean, the problem is the problem I've got is I won't talk to anyone well known. I mean, I wouldn't go over and talk to Robin Ince. That was last year. But someone made him come over and talk to me, so it doesn't
I
count.
have done the mom thing.
We'll sort that out at DaveCon.
Well, actually, you know what? The funniest thing is I'm better in a wheelchair because I can be more obnoxious. So if I'm at something in my wheelchair, I can be more obnoxious. I'm more, and they take pity on me, so it works. It's weird.
you turned into what's his name from One Foot in the Grave when you're in your wheelchair, do you?
1 foot in the grave.
What is his name?
I don't believe it. That's his name.
Richard Wilson.
Are you talking about Little Britain?
No. Oh, I'm just old. Never mind me.
He was on that Merlin TV show, and it was really weird.
That was
Yes,
rubbish, that show.
it
I'm
was.
sorry.
My mum is watching it at the moment.
Joan says,
I
have
have-
you...
I have done the mom
Victor
thing where
Mallory, that's who I'm thinking of.
Jim! Go on.
one of my kids saw a hero. It was Voltaire, the singer, and it was at Dragon Con. Yeah, Dragon Con, and I pushed her up to see him and kind of pushed her toward the front of the line, and she was embarrassed, but we got some really great photos, and so she's so happy now.
This is the funny thing. I have absolutely no problem doing it on someone else's behalf. You can get the most famous person in the world, and I will butt in and be rude as is necessary to get them to talk to someone else. I have no problem doing that. But I don't like being an imposition on people. Why the hell would they want to talk to me?
Unless it's for somebody else.
Well,
Dragon
that's
Con in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to that?
No, it's just it's right up the street for me, so I want to go.
I wasn't going to go because I didn't think there was anything that I would be interested in. I thought it was more for the younger folks. But actually, I found a bunch of stuff I was really interested in. Of course, it also helped that my youngest was there, and she really wanted me to enjoy it. And so she looked through the program looking for things she knew I would like. And, we went to the Skeptics track, and I met Matt Dillahunty, and that was really super.
Joan asks me, have I never had any heroes or just since I was an adult? The problem with that question is I can't remember. The problem is, to say I don't have heroes is a bit wrong. There are people I vaguely look up to, but I am very realistic about most people. Actually, there's a question coming up that I wrote yesterday that is relevant to this. They're just people.
I don't know that heroes is the right word. It's people I admire.
But even then, the people I admire, I don't really. Most people have got where they've got by luck, or
well, not just luck. Sometimes there's a lot of fucking hard work.
Oh, there is, and I mean, it's one of those things I love about Tim Minchin. I think I could say Tim Minchin is someone I look up to.
Tim Minchin
Right.
is awesome.
You're buzzing,
Manda, I think, is that Manda or that's just Manda?
right?
Not me. I can
Tim
make it
Minchin.
happen if you like.
No, shut up, Badger!
No.
You dare! Right, Tim Minchin is interesting. Okay, and this is one of those things. I will sing the praises of him till the ends of the earth, even if he becomes an arse, because he studied to become a pop star.
Yeah.
Okay, he wanted to be popular. He wanted to do music. That was his aim, and he didn't just go out and try and be obnoxious and do it. He went through the academic route to do it. He is someone that demonstrates you can do anything through the academic route.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. But no, I mean, I suppose there are people I think that will be a loss to the cause that I would look up to now, right? So, Arn, I think, will be a massive loss when he dies. I don't think Matt will. I think Matt is eminently replaceable. I like Matt. I like Matt a lot, but I think he's eminently replaceable. I don't think there's anything unique about him. He is someone that has worked hard, doing the same thing day in and day out, and has got popular because of it. And again, it's hard work, but it is luck and the time that he was there and the space that was to be filled. It could have been anyone with a similar attitude.
We should call this the Dave Shits on Everyone's Heroes show.
The problem is, I don't know most people's heroes.
I respect Matt, but I'm not a massive fan of his, if you know what I mean. I have a lot of respect for the man, but I don't know. After a while, there's only so much of the fucking atheist experience I can actually watch.
Oh no, this is the problem though. That's the show. The problem is I respect Matt a lot more when I watched him on things like Atheist Edge. I respect Matt more as a person than I do from Atheist Experience. On Atheist Experience, he has to get through people, and he's playing a role.
He has to be an ass, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, after a while, I mean, the conversations get a bit repetitive, and it's just, I can't sort of watch the Atheist Experience much nowadays. I just don't watch it anymore.
Well, that's okay, because Matt Pig's on the other side at the same time.
Yeah. I never watched it live anyway, Dave.
I wouldn't watch it not live.
No,
Yeah.
I only ever watch highlights now. I don't think I've watched a whole Atheist Experience show for a couple of years.
I watch the Atheist Experience as clips, and I watch Talk Heathen live.
I got more out of Talk Heathen.
Talk Heathen's I think Talk Heathen's a better show, in my opinion. So
I think Talk Heathen.
watched
Well, okay. I think Talk Heathen is a better show for the content. Oh, I've lost it. It's gone. My
9
stick
o'clock.
wore off.
9 o'clock hero says, I go with luck. Lots of people work hard and never get the break. He's
Yes.
right.
Well, this is it.
See, I watch the Atheist.
You don't want to be rooting around down there.
I watch the Atheist Experience as clips for sort of responses to specific arguments where somebody's kind of said that somebody goes on the show and makes a specific argument, and you watch the various different hosts and then Matt Dillahunty a lot come up with responses to that argument. But if I want to watch show live, I will go for the Talk Heathen, because I find the hosts on that tend to be much less combative and much more just kind of.
I've got to step out for a second, guys.
No problem. The problem is you need combative some of the time. I mean, this is one of those things that I constantly get into disagreements with people about you not being a dick to Christians.
Matt put out a video recently where he was just talking about how he frequently gets asked about, can you be absolutely certain about something? Yeah. And he talks about certainty, and I thought that was a really good video.
I thought it was long-winded to get his point across, but I thought his point was very interesting and valid. I feel there are some in our community as a whole that have something very important to say, and use far too many words to say it.
That is a point, actually, that I have a comment on.
Go on.
And the comment is as follows.
Go on.
No, the comment is, people often say that Twitter is a bad platform to get your point across, and I tend to reply with, unless you're trying to sort of explain nuclear physics to someone, it's not.
No, if you can't get it across in the amount of space, then you need to break the argument down.
Just do, if your argument, it's really good practice for talking in a concise and clear way. And if it doesn't fit in one tweet, just do two. And if it doesn't fit in two, your argument might be too long.
But this is the problem, that the people we are arguing with... Well, all right, no, that is wrong. Completely wrong. People I am arguing with try to give you a question that cannot be answered in one tweet. They try to get the fate of the universe as a question that requires an essay to answer. And when you can't answer it in a tweet, they dismiss your argument. Right? The only way you deal with people like that is you break apart their argument. You break apart their question. Because it's the only way you can debate them. I mean, you have to, Twitter, if you're going to do anything on Twitter, you've got to be able to walk away. If I'm not enjoying an argument, meh. Leave it alone.
That's why
at the end of the day,
arguing about Star Wars, because I enjoy that.
You don't enjoy the arguments anymore.
No, I don't enjoy it when I do enjoy the argument when I'm on Twitter and I'm just there and I can just like link to Wikipedia and just be like, look. And they go, yeah, but that's Legends, and I go, Legends is the only true canon. But when it comes to when you're trying to discuss a serious topic, you do need to be able to go, right, we're not getting anywhere, we're just angry, we need to stop talking.
I mean, the other thing as well is you don't let people bait you into their thing. You don't need to provide sources. You don't need to provide unbiased opinions. This is Twitter. These are people that believe literally in I'm going to be slightly hyperbolic, but delusions. and they are putting across their opinion and expecting you to give detailed, rational responses to it, yeah, when it is perfectly reasonable to turn around and say, no, you're wrong. I don't need to justify myself. You're just wrong.
I had somebody on Twitter come after me on about 3 or 4 different threads, and his argument was always the same. It was always third grade. And I said, do you know how to say anything besides third grade?
If people do that on Twitter, Granny, never think that you can't DM some of us and say, can you give me a hand, especially if they're ganging up on you.
Or just tag us in.
Because that is often their tactic. They'll call in their friends and gang up, and if you feel like you're being ganged up on, ask to have people on your side, because we'll always...
Yeah, I haven't had that yet. It's usually only been 1 or 2.
I was going to say, if someone says something particularly bad as well, retweet it with a comment of your response. So it starts a new thread, and then we join in. I do like doing that with anti-gay, anti-trans people, because they get piled on, and it's fun. Right.
That's phrasing, by the way. You know, talking about something vaguely sexual, and then they get piled on, and it's fun. Not out there.
You see that tweet response to the thing that and I can't remember which one of the TERFs it was who made that whole thing about trans women in public swimming pools. So
I was watching that.
Yeah, somebody put up a poll about who do you think is more dangerous in public pools, trans women or TERFs? 99% think it's TERFs.
We now get to vote on who's allowed in public spaces. TERFs are banned.
TERFs are banned. Yeah, exactly. Basically, that's what the poll was. Yeah, TERFs are banned. If you want to ban somebody from public space, ban the bigot.
Right. Next question, I think we've beaten that one to death.
Yeah, but this was the first question, Dave.
Yes, I know.
We've been on nearly for half an hour.
Yes. Right. Question 500. What is the most...
500! Woo! Party time! Sorry. I was waiting for that.
Question 5. I'm slightly annoyed the last episode didn't end on 499. Just for completeness. Question 500. What is the most inexplicable thing you have ever seen?
Most inexplicable thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're asking me for something that I've seen that I couldn't explain through logic.
Yes.
And
Yes, that is what inexplicable means.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen something I couldn't explain. But I saw something when I was younger that I couldn't explain till I was older. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay. When I was young, driving in the car, I was in the back with my brother, and my mum and dad were in the front. And Dad suddenly shoved his foot on the brake to stop, and we saw this person walk across the road in front of us, get to the other side of the road, and vanish. Absolutely, completely vanish. And we're like, holy crap! And for a long time, I was like, fuck, did we just see a ghost? Some shit like that. I mean, obviously, later in life, I can reconcile that with it was just that it was nighttime and the lighting was crap, and this person obviously disappeared in the shadows, and they were an idiot because they walked down in front of my dad and were nearly fucking dead. But it was like ghost at the time, sort of thing. So at the time, it's inexplicable, but later on in life, I'm like, yeah, what? Yeah.
But you still don't have an explanation.
No, I didn't at the time, no.
No, you still don't. You can assume an answer.
Well, logically, people don't just vanish.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a phone call.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay, Jeff.
I mean, one of the most inexplicable things I've seen is Jeff disappearing. On a previous show, he vanished like that.
Yeah. The weirdest thing is when Jeff turns into Jar Jar.
Why, Jeff?
You're trying.
Let it go. God.
Jen, you're trying to lead me down a very dark path here.
I didn't ask you to do. I said it was weird.
I think it's implied that you are trying to lead me in that. Just give me a gentle nudge in that direction.
I've got an answer, but you won't like it.
Just let me read the chat. Nerdy says, this YouTube channel is close to inexplicable. Nikki says, I have, but it's classified.
So what is the actual question here? Just so I
Give me a
can
sec,
answer
let me
it.
finish this. What is the most inexplicable thing you've ever seen?
The fact that there are flat earthers in 2020.
See, Ilya says, people who don't put grocery carts away. It's unexplainable as to why they don't put them in the cart holder. They leave them in empty parking lot spaces like arseholes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
do
that's
that, but
exactly
there
why
is a circumstance I can see where people would. When my children were very young, I did not want to leave them even alone in the car long enough to go put the cart away. But the way I solved the problem was I always parked right next to a cart return. That way I put the kids in the car, put the cart away, and never leave the children alone in the car.
I always put them away with one exception.
Problem.
There's a shopping centre in the next suburb over, and it's a really big shopping centre. It's got a couple of thousand car parks and only 3 trolley return bays. So if you are stuck with parking in an area where there isn't one of those trolley return bays, you've got to walk more than half of. You can end up having to walk more than half the car park bay to find a trolley return bay, and they're always full because there's not enough return bays. So most people just don't bother. So they end up being left on the footpath or wherever else. And it's like, yeah, if you put the trolley return bays in, people might actually fucking use them.
I am an arse about that because I will. My level of how considerate I am about other people is vastly proportional to how much I hurt. And walking around a supermarket.
See you there winding up your I'm going to annoy everyone face.
Yes. I'm sitting here thinking, do I admit to how much of an arse I can be? And shopping trolleys is the perfect example. Because if I have to walk around a supermarket, very often, by the time I get out of that supermarket, I'm more likely to kill myself than return a trolley.
I get that, David. In the same, when the pain gets really bad, just everybody can just fuck right off. Like, yeah, I totally get that.
But that doesn't mean to say generally I will try and return it.
Why don't they put the trolley return bays next to the disability bays? They're always the other side of the fucking car park. I've had this problem taking my mum shopping, and I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. If she had to put, when she used to be able to drive, she would not have been able to do this. And I'm like, why?
No, entirely. It is. But anyway, Granny, inexplicable.
The only thing I can even think of, and I can't remember well enough exactly what it looked like because this was in high school. We were running some kind of experiment in physics class in high school. And it involved water and it involved tubing, and ours was running backwards. And I couldn't figure out why the water was running the wrong direction. I think it probably had something to do with water pressure, but I don't know.
Capillary action, maybe?
Could be, yeah.
Joan says, my sister going into a slip with the car and all other traffic just disappeared when the car ended up beside the road. I've had some weird things like that, which I would describe more as lucky.
Actually, that reminds me of something. Yeah, there was something. And I used to explain this through angels, and now I can't, but it was 1984, and it was the day they opened the Michael Jackson wax exhibit in Nashville. And we were moving from Fort Knox to Fort Hood, and we had to drive through Nashville to do it. And when we did, there were 2 lanes of traffic that were at a dead stop, and there were 2 lanes of traffic moving at 60 miles an hour. And we were in the right lane of the two that were moving, and somebody pulled out from a dead stop directly in front of me. There was no way I could slow down in time. There was a red truck next to me, and there was a concrete barrier next to the red truck. And so I was convinced that I was about to die. So I just closed my eyes and I said, "Hello, Lord, here I come." And when nothing happened, I opened my eyes, and the car that had been in front of me was behind me. And now my husband was driving the other car, and he was directly behind me when all this happened. So he saw the whole thing. And so we pulled off, and I said, "What happened?" And he said, "The red truck got as close to the concrete barrier as it could. The car that pulled in front of you moved to the side of the lane, and you went in between them." With my eyes closed.
Oh dear. Oh, at least you survived it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Manda.
Was it? How's that old thing say? At least 1,000,000 to 1 coincidences happen all the time.
Yes.
Right.
Sorry, Amanda.
I can't really think of anything at the moment. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, you know what? There was this time that Angel ended up when we moved into this apartment in the town that we both grew up in, I guess. He was kind of an escape artist, so I had to put one of those chain locks on the door, and within a couple of hours, he had figured out, he needed to climb onto something to pull it down. But he had taken this fucking table that was incredibly heavy with a lamp and books on it that I could barely move myself. And I had been working in the kitchen making dinner, and I turned around and the door is open and the table had been moved, and he was 5 years old. So I have no idea how he did this. But yeah, so he was able to pull the table with the lamp and the books and everything all the way across the room next to the door, climb up, take it off, and book it out of the house in like less than 10 minutes time. And yeah, and I have no idea how he did that. So that was very inexplicable to me.
Badger.
I have met people who actually
I don't believe
say
you.
That, yeah, fair enough. No, I have met and talked to people who actually say that The Last Jedi is a good film.
I was trying to work out which way he was going to go.
It had to be one of those, didn't it?
There's
Do you have
one. There's always one.
Always one. It has to be Badger.
Do you have anything in the real world?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. No, I've been racking my magnificent brain trying to come up with something, and I'm just stuck.
See, I'm going to give a phenomenon. The bystander effect. But mostly because it annoys me.
Interesting.
Repeatedly, I have watched and stepped up and done something where there are tens of people around watching this disaster unfold and them doing absolutely nothing when so little was required. And I'm completely blown away that we don't. We just watch gobsmacked.
We love the fucking carnage, I guess.
But it doesn't seem to be.
Psychology says that the more people that are watching, the less likely it is that anyone will do anything.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks that somebody else is going to do something.
Yeah. But even when no one is doing anything.
Mm-hmm. bystander effect.
Yep. It's not good. Right.
Did
next
you
question.
answer, Dave?
I
Oh,
did.
you just
Bystander
literally
effect was
put
mine.
Literally.
I'm so used to having to ask it, it just fucking came out. My bad. Having a day. It's fine.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of an actual answer, and I've got nothing. All the things that I haven't been able to explain that I can think of have later kind of just gone, oh, that's what happened.
Yes.
Apart
But the
from,
point is,
like,
you can assume answers based
apart
upon.
from sort of minor things like where did my socks go or something like that.
I can't believe how good a grade I got in my history exam. That's
Speaking of which,
completely
I'm still
I
trying to
wonder
figure
if
out
it was
where
the
my socks
underpants gnomes branching out.
I'm still trying to figure out where those socks have gone, by the way.
Like I said, underpants gnomes branching out.
One sock at a time from the dryer. Right,
Yep.
next question. Question 501. The pilot of your plane is unconscious, and the stewardess asks if you can fly the plane. What's the worst response you can give?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, sure, I can do that.
I flew a kite once.
I thought I was flying the plane.
Say again?
You remember what movie that's from, right? That's from the movie Airplane.
What did you say, Amanda?
I said I thought I was flying this plane.
Badger?
Let me see. That can't be that much different from a car.
Sure.
Did
where's
you
the
see?
steering wheel?
Did you see the? They took a load of people that had a small plane license and put them in a 747 simulator and asked them to land the plane. Asked them to be talked down by the tower.
Yeah.
Not
Wasn't
one of
that
them
on
could do it.
Mythbusters?
What? Say again? Yeah?
Wasn't that on Mythbusters?
QI.
QI.
Well, QI talked about it. Right, that's where I got the information from.
Mythbusters did it, didn't they?
Did they? I don't know. But the point being that these people knew how to fly a plane, and
Yeah.
they couldn't get anything close to landing a jumbo jet.
Yeah, well, it's not really the same thing, is it? That's kind of like asking somebody with a powerboat license to drive an aircraft carrier.
Oh, entirely. It's totally different. But the point is, if the point of the test was that if they can't do it, the chances of someone with absolutely no skill whatsoever in flying planes is just not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to happen.
There was that guy, though.
Was there?
Yeah. What was he called? I can't. He became known as Sky King, I believe.
Isn't that
He
Phil?
was no. He,
How about-
just Google Sky King later on. He was a guy. He was an aircraft. He worked in an airport, but never actually flew the planes, and then stole one.
And did he manage to successfully land it?
Google it.
Fair enough. We have got. Nikki said, "I can fly a plane in a video game."
Yeah, I could do that. Well, actually, no. I most of the games I let a friend of mine fly the planes because I don't want the responsibility.
Yeah, I noticed that you seem stuck about 200 years before there were planes.
That's a good game, Matt. You should play it.
All I ever see is a guy running around with a flag.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the flaggy boy.
We lost Jen. Have you considered some sort of weapon? This whole flag
I've got
thing
a
seems.
sword. I literally in that game have a sword and a pistol.
And a flag that takes two hands to hold.
The pistol is a single-shot flintlock pistol, and it's very inaccurate. And the sword is half as long as the flagpole.
So use the flagpole.
Exactly.
Well, what if it's the sword at the end of the flagpole? Like you got the flag up here, but the sword
bayonet
down there, so you can just like flip it around and fuck everybody up.
Then it becomes a polearm.
Oh, what now?
You can't do that with the king's colours.
Exactly.
Who the
You
fuck
can't
is the
stab
king?
someone.
What kind of douchebag country still has a monarchy?
King Great George.
My God, she's found something she can bitch at us about our country. It's horrific.
Fucking backward one
right.
like us, Amanda.
We're all getting awfully close to having a monarchy ourselves.
Oh, just put a hood on him and then get him to go good. Through you.
Well, the good thing about having a president is it means you won't become you don't have to be a complete idiot and become head of state just because of who your dad was. And I said, oh shit, George W. Bush, what am I on about?
Hilarious.
Right.
True.
The presidency in our country.
Welcome back.
What was the question?
Let me do the answer. Oh, the question was, the pilot of your plane is unconscious, and the stewardess asks if you can fly the plane. What's the worst response you can give?
Right,
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
I like
my
Inquisitive
name's Matt.
Quandary's response. Hell yes, hold my beer.
Yes.
Might it be? Yeah, sure. Hello, my name's Mad Mike. Too soon? Too soon?
Yes.
I got this.
I got this. Sure, I'll give it a crack. How hard can it be? Nerdy, I don't think we've got that much time.
Which of these buttons is the intercom? All hands, this is the passenger speaking. Anyone know which button makes this thing go?
Joan says, what question is this? If I were the stewardess, I'd fly it myself. Excellent answer.
The worst thing actually can be Badger on the controls and someone saying, use the force, Luke.
Well, that could brilliantly. I'd blow up the Death Star.
Plow into it. Seraphim says, I played GTA 5. I got this. I don't think I ever landed a plane in GTA 5. I flew a plane quite a few times.
That's the best answer by far.
Yeah, that's I've never managed to get the planes to work in GTA 5.
Oh, getting in them and flying them is easy. Nikki says...
I couldn't take off.
Then change the controls so it drives like a car.
I was flying. A friend of mine, he put a plane down for me and said, "Right, fly that." I went, "All right, I'm going forwards." Got to the end of the runway and went into the sea.
So the big challenge is getting into the military air base. You know, like flinging yourself over the fence to get into the military air base, and then getting to like the F5 or something before you get shot down, and then taking off. That's the challenge.
Use a tank and just drive in. I've lost
We've
where we
been
are.
doing it the hard way this whole time.
Yes.
I never thought of just like blasting through the gates with tank. I feel like an idiot now. God damn it.
To be fair, the tank is pretty much my solution to everything.
There's nothing that a good tank can't sort out.
Exactly. I've lost track of the chat. Nikki says, the better one is I play Kerbal Space Program. I got this. I wonder if we can go high enough to see the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, there's fuck all chance I'm gonna be able to land this thing. Let's see how high we can go.
I want to see I want to prove the International Space Station is actually real.
See if we can fly up. I'm going to prove the air gets thinner and the plane's got an upper limit. Doc says, sure, I can fly the plane all the way to the crash site.
Is that really flying?
It's falling with style.
Yeah.
Falling with style.
Alias says, I've landed an aeroplane hundreds of times. He's got a pilot license. Can you land a 747?
How about, I once made a paper airplane once, you know.
Did it crash?
Yeah. But very gracefully so.
It's quite difficult to get a paper airplane to land.
No, they always land.
To land properly.
Yeah, but the problem is you need a remote control to get it to lower its wheels.
I used to have a little remote controlled, well, it wasn't little actually, it was quite big. We used to have a remote controlled airplane that we'd go, me and my dad would go out on the moors flying this thing around. And I was doing a loop and the wing fell off. And I quite successfully managed to get it back to the ground. It made this noise. And the other wing fell off.
I've crashed every quadcopter I've had. Quite spectacularly and often.
Oh, I had a fabulous remote-controlled helicopter once that if it went out of range of the remote control, if it went out of range of the controller, it would not stop. It would just keep going on whatever trajectory it was on, and so I flew it up into the air, and it just kept going. I was there chasing it around, trying to get it back in range of the control, so it would stop.
Right. Ooh. Next question.
I'm wondering if there's any meaning to the fact that we are now arranged so the men are on the top and the women are on the bottom.
That's right, I don't mind being on the bottom.
We arranged that way on the stream.
Is this Freudian day or something? Or...
It's fixed.
Dave, so disappointing.
Oh, Amanda's on top of me now.
Dave knows that I like it on top, so you know, fix that.
Phrasing.
Right. Next question. Question 502. Would you be more bothered about a video becoming public of you masturbating or one of you having sex?
Both?
Probably masturbating, because at least if it was having sex, at least it'd prove that I actually was able to have sex.
You don't have a preference as to which would be worst?
I think they'd both be like not be. I don't think.
Oh
either of them would be
no!
really
The assumption
bad,
here is that both are bad.
Yeah,
I mean that might be a bad assumption because there are people that definitely like it.
Well,
but...
I think the sex tape is the least worst option. Obviously, that could be depending on the partner, of course, but you know.
What if it was me?
You and Badger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people might be into badger porn. I don't know.
Yeah, but you'd get called a furry fucker or something for forever.
Yeah. Badger buggerer.
Yeah.
A badger buggerer? Do people do that? I don't know why I asked that question.
If you wait for the tape to come out, Jen, you know.
Wait for the fan fiction.
That's going to be in the fan fiction now.
Yeah, we know where this is ended up, don't we?
Sammy's not even in, or Nerdy is, so yeah.
Nerdy is. Nerdy's making notes.
Let's be honest, even if Sammy's not in the chat, it's going to get back to him one way or another, isn't it?
Isn't Nerdy writing most of it anyway? Sammy's just proofreading?
Sammy started it.
Oh, that's right, he did too. Why did he hand it over to Nerdy?
To be silly.
I think because Nerdy's about.
Yeah, Nerdy hasn't said anything, so for a bit.
Manda!
Maybe Nerdy's practicing his ideas.
Manda.
His ideas?
Nerdy's practicing his ideas.
What does that even mean? Is that his
But the-
fanfic ideas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
big ideas, yeah.
I mean, you gotta, like, give context there. His ideas, like,
He's animating them.
not sciencing
But he-
something.
It is
What
what
was that,
we're
Dave?
talking about.
He's animating them.
Okay.
Oh, good lord. He still owes me, a drawing or whatever of me in the leather outfit with the whip. I'm waiting for that.
You look like you actually really look like you're really looking forward to that.
And I think that would be kind of fucking baller, yo. Just saying. I think, whips and leather work good in animated me. Not real me, but in animated me. Just saying. No? Okay.
Yeah, I can see a chapter of something that's going to happen to me if I keep doing the Jar Jar impression.
You're going to get buggered by something very big. Manda, you didn't answer the question.
There was a question?
There was, wasn't there?
There was. Would you be more bothered about a
Yes.
video?
I know what the question is.
Even-
I mean, the masturbation one, because, like, at least if it's just, when if it's a sex tape, you're not alone. Plus, you don't look as stupid. So,
There's someone else to share in your shame as well.
Yeah, that's a
Well, no,
valid point. I
someone to
think.
share in your fucking glory. Not to brag or anything, but I was a gymnast and a ballet dancer. I have some. I'm flexible.
What's not bragging
Amanda
about
has
that?
some moves.
Seraphim,
What was that, Dave?
I said, what's not bragging about that?
I didn't say I wasn't bragging. I'm kidding. I've never had sex. I am a chaste, lady or whatever.
who accidentally got pregnant from a toilet seat.
Immaculate conception.
No, he's fucking Jesus. So yeah.
Yeah.
Even that wasn't. Didn't the Holy Ghost come upon Mary? Hang on, that's the wrong phrasing.
Right.
Something
Sarah-
like that.
There we go here. Joan says having sex. There, we should be more bothered. More bothered by having sex. Seraphim says both probably exist, so meh. Joan says I can masturbate in the dark. I'm assuming that means that would be why she'd never. I don't know. I don't understand that.
There are such a thing as night vision cameras.
The video
Yeah.
would just be like a sort of vague shadows.
Audio.
I mean, me personally, I don't get why anyone films themselves having sex anyway, but that's just me. But
Fun?
yeah, I mean,
It's a lot.
just to me, it's like it's the
You know,
last
hey.
thing I ever want to do.
When your favorite football players want to up their game, they tape themselves and figure out how to fix shit.
Yes.
Yeah, they're getting.
It's a post game analysis.
Exactly.
See, that's even worse. The thought that like fucking Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker on Match of the Day could be reviewing my fucking sex tape. That's even worse.
All right, with it, isn't there a show like that? Not about sex, but about dating. Something like Pete versus World or something like that.
Oh
If
fuck
they were
no!
describing-
If you're aware of watch any of that shit.
If they were describing your sex tape, what would they be calling an own goal?
Premature.
Dear, if you get an own goal in a sex tape, you were masturbating, weren't you?
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's a good question for you, Dave. What would the title of your sex tape be?
I'll add that for another day.
Yeah.
This is the perfect episode of this show for you to to visit Godless Granny.
I think to be honest, Dave, I think the likelihood is one more likely to get caught offside.
You got a look on just kind of. Oh, children.
He's going to get to me. Let me finish reading with it. What is it, chat? Doc says, having sex, then both my partner and the viewer of the vid would be mentally scarred for life.
Oh dear.
Badger.
I think a sex tape involving me would be the most awkward thing ever put on film. So.
Have you seen Return of The Last Jedi?
What's that?
Have you seen The Last Jedi?
That's a good point. Okay, a sex tape involving me would be sort of fairly high up there with the most awkward things ever put on film. So I think that would be the worst out of the two. The other one would just kind of be me sitting there.
I have a question. Do you think a sex tape would come out better or worse if you okay, if you knew you were being taped, would it be better or would it come out better or worse?
It would come out drastically worse if I knew I was being taped.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
I probably would, because I like I said, it's not something I would ever consciously do. I couldn't.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I would have to use some of the special pills. And not having any experience with them, I think that would make it disastrous.
You would have to take the paws off.
I can't take the paws off. It's me paws.
Granny.
It's amazing what you can do with a knife.
Now I've got horrible images. And the badger sex wasn't enough. Granny. Which would be worse for you?
Which would be worse? Well, it would definitely be the sex, because that would embarrass my partner, whereas the masturbation one would just be me. Plus, a videotape of me masturbating would be the most boring thing you'd ever see. There's nothing happening.
Right. Doc says, or alternatively masturbation, since my dick is too small to show up on camera. I'd look like I was having a seizure. I think he protests too much. Dirk says, I cry during both, so equally embarrassing.
You know when you're just sad and you try to cheer yourself up, and then that activity just becomes sad, and you're there just like... Is that just me?
I can't deny that it has happened. Not very often.
Yeah. my problem is that my answer is probably the same as Seraphin's. Because probably exists somewhere online. So
where? Do you not keep track of these things?
Well, one of them I didn't post, and the other one was sent privately to somebody who posted it elsewhere. So
nice people.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've never let anything I've produced go out of my control.
That's why I'd never knowingly consent to ever be in films doing anything like that, because you know it fucking get out there some way or another.
You don't think this is more embarrassing?
But come on, you honestly think I'm going to be embarrassed by this? There's footage of me on YouTube deep throating a dildo. Come on.
Can I have that?
The dildo, the footage, or the other footage?
Well, I keep saying I have a Pornhub channel, but there's nothing on it.
Yes, but you won't give us a link to it.
Because there's nothing on it, so it doesn't show up on the site.
Yes, but it shows what you like and you're into.
So you're saying you want to be my pimp, Badger?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Right! Next question. Question 503. What is the one thing that helped you grow as a person?
Hormones.
Right, see, I'm now depressed that you have such an easy answer.
But that answer's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, you explicitly chose
Yeah, but
to
you
take that
still-
step.
Yeah, I know.
I have a good answer for this one.
Go on.
When I was young, I idolized my older brother, and I wanted to do everything that he did. And so, any activity he got involved in, I did too, even if I was horrible at it. And when he was about 16, 17, he got a job in a pharmacy. By the way, he's a pharmacist now. And when he did that, I was like, I don't want to do that. And so for the first time in my life, I had to start thinking about, what do I want to do? And that really helped me grow.
Excellent.
If I'm gonna give a serious answer to this, then probably being spending about a year when I was about 18 in a job where I got treated like fucking shit. It kind of taught me a lot about learning to stand up for myself a bit.
I'm gonna actually go with a very similar answer. Working in a retail environment really sort of changed me from being, okay, I'll just do that thing to, no, this is not how we're going to do this. I'm going to show, I'm not going to, you're not going to change my shift at the last minute. I won't show up.
Fair enough. Hopswatch says time. Doc says nothing. I never became a person. Alias says protein.
Gotta get them
Manda?
games.
What? Yes. Manda.
I guess becoming a parent, maybe. I had to I grow up really quick in that regard. I don't know. I don't think I've grown as a person. I think I've stayed pretty stagnant for a while, so I can't really think of much else.
14 to 16 years?
Pretty much.
Well, getting older is inevitable, but growing up is a choice.
Yes. I watched a
Having
very,
kids
very
makes you
depressing
grow up.
video about that. What?
Yes,
kids
I
makes
was
you grow
just
up.
thinking that, Dave. We know what it means,
To be an adult.
Yes. And you become an adult when you decide to be. That's why there are so many 8-year-old adults around.
Exactly. I refuse to be anything but an 8-year-old adult.
See, I'm of the opinion that adulty adults are boring.
Hmm?
So I refuse to become one.
Hmm.
I noticed myself. I was talking to a friend of mine. We met up for a cup of tea or whatever. This was quite some time ago. We're not breaching the social distancing. Yeah, met up for a cup of tea or whatever, and we were there just talking about job things. And I was sitting there going, "What have we become?" And so I just said to him, "We have become. This conversation is the most boring thing we have ever discussed. Let's talk about Star Wars."
Why would you make it more boring?
I will slap you.
Manda's face!
I'm so hurt, Dave. You're out of the will. Out.
Jen, what were you going to say?
I can't
You've
remember.
forgotten.
I think I said the two things: hormones and kids.
Kids.
Kids definitely make.
See, I'm going to go with alcohol.
Alcohol makes you grow up.
Alcohol-
Grow as a person.
I was a geek.
Yeah.
I grew up a geek. I was happy on my own. I lived my life on my own. I was very happy. And then I got pissed and discovered drugs and sex, and life became a lot more fun.
Is that because you discovered drink and drugs and sex, drugs and rock and roll? So you discovered a social life?
Yes. I mean, it's not to say I didn't have a social life before that, but my social life was a lot more code-based.
Yes. I mean, if we're gonna use that sort of like shrooms like really helped me grow as a person. They expanded my mind.
Mm.
I've got a good answer for you, Badger. Star Wars.
Yes, that's good. I like it.
You like that?
Thanks a lot, Seraphim. That's just what I needed in the chat.
My mum's death, dark I know. Trainbeck says, I'm 51 going on 5. Popswatch reiterates, time helped me grow a lot. Time has not helped me grow at all in the last 20 years. Well, maybe my gut.
I'm going to say that's actually there's a valid point about alcohol making you grow. I think it's definitely helped me grow a lot that way.
Yes.
Alcohol and quarantine has helped me grow a lot in that respect.
Oh no, I won't say that. I'll tell you after stream.
Cheese on toast is excellent.
Say again?
I said cheese on toast is excellent.
Yes.
Why would you ruin perfectly good toast?
Dave,
Doing the
we're gonna.
cheese,
I-
Dave.
I'm with Dave on that one. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to add this to the conversation this time.
Breakfast
The worst thing
for
is-
me almost every day is a slice of cheese on a piece of bread and toast it.
Outstanding.
The worst thing is, I'm going to be really bad or I'm going to get slapped. I've actually been quite enjoying cheese on toast recently.
See,
Oh,
I've been saying.
Snap!
Say again? Someone.
Dave ate cheese and liked it.
What's really
Throw
funny?
this, Dave, and
What's
throw it
really
back in your face constantly.
What's really funny, right, is because we haven't been able to get the cheese we normally eat. We've had to get other cheese, right? And eating this other cheese reminds me exactly how much I hate cheese. So I don't know what it is about the cheese we normally eat. I can only imagine that it doesn't taste very cheesy. I just cannot stand the taste.
I fucking hate cheese as well, so.
What is wrong with you people? Cheese is fucking lovely. Pineapple is revolting.
Cheese is.
It's the only thing that makes a cheese and tomato based food worse.
Cheese is essential to interstellar travel.
What? Pineapple?
Is it?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
better. I love that.
Why is cheese essential for intergalactic travel?
The cheese must flow.
Oh,
Also, Dune is a really weird film.
which the new one, the old one, the series,
All
There's a
of
new one.
the books.
the books. I really enjoyed the audiobooks.
I was
I
not
listened to them
aware there
recently.
was a new one, but the old
It hasn't
one,
come out yet.
The proper one.
Hasn't come out yet. Yeah.
It's a very weird
What
film.
about
It's
the
good
TV
though.
series?
I enjoyed that.
I don't think I can
Yeah,
handle
I
any more
did too. There was things about it I didn't like. There
Oh,
was
there were things I
in the
didn't
original
like.
Movie that I preferred over the actual the TV series. So
I don't think I can handle more Dune.
Dune. I wonder if
Hopswatch
they're going to
says-
ride Dune buggies on Dune.
No. There's more cheese
You're
for me
right,
and
Dave.
pineapple. There's
You
Hopswatch.
wouldn't want to wake up with one of those worms crawling out your butt, would you?
How did we get to worms crawling out the butt?
Next question, Dave.
Dune?
I think eventually all questions lead to that.
My daughter thought she had a Gould.
She thought she had a what?
A Gould.
Mm.
A gold.
You want about Stargate now?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Are we talking about in the manner of the series?
Yes.
Right.
And we're not talking Stargate as well now, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had
It's
so
a-
much Star Wars. We need something good.
Stargate is an excellent
Why
series.
did she think she had a gold?
Did you? I can't remember. Unfortunately.
You know,
We're losing moments of time.
no,
But
no. She
did
thought she
occasionally
had a
look in the
worm
mirror
in her
and
belly.
eyes would glow?
She thought she had a
So she had a
worm in her belly before.
You sure she didn't just have a tapeworm?
No, she didn't have a tapeworm. My guess is she probably saw pictures when she was very young of the small intestine.
Oh,
And she thought she had a worm in her belly. right? And that idea got superseded by watching Stargate.
Fair
I
enough.
see.
If that makes sense, because she had the worm in her stomach.
Correct.
She had the worm in her stomach before she thought it was Gould.
I'm suddenly remembering how much I'm missing football now.
You'll be able to go to the park and play soon.
Well, will we?
Wait.
No.
Well,
You won't be
will
able to
any of
tackle
us play?
anyone. What you'll get, right, is everyone will get given a hoop dress, where the hoop is 2 meters, 2 meters radius.
Oh, what's that game where they're all in the big inflatable balls?
See, that might be allowed.
That'd be awesome.
We could have big inflatable ball games.
But will we be able
You're allowed to have
to
big
do this? 'Cause
inflatable
I'm not quite sure,
balls.
because we got like Schrodinger's prime minister at the moment. So
The big inflatable ball.
Hey, you
Right.
I mean, at least you don't have Trump.
Ours is now becoming more. Well, yes. I was going to say no because ours is becoming more and more of a wet fish. But the problem is Trump is actively sabotaging. So ours doesn't appear to be at this point.
No, he's just
Wait,
silly.
Dave. What does
Yeah.
that even mean? A wet fish? Aren't all fish wet?
It means the use.
Is that actually a saying?
I
or
don't
did
know
you
whether
just-
it is, but I can't remember
saying.
whether or not it means.
I think it's because you wouldn't consider a fish wet whilst it's actually still in the water, so it's like a fish out of water.
It doesn't do
That's
anything.
why I'm saying that. Yeah,
It's useless. It's most yeah.
it's just flapping around.
Yeah.
So it's just like another way of saying fish out of water.
Yeah, imagine that you have a fish and it's wet and it's slippery and it's just kind of there, just flopping around, not achieving anything, but still there. That's Boris Johnson right now.
Are fish normally big achievers?
When they are in their natural habitat, yes, but I think Boris Johnson's natural habitat is stuck in a zip line over London.
You think it's still there in his head?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It bothers me.
Might be the
It
zip
bothers
line
me
of
so
broken.
much that Paul Merton and Angus Deaton and Ian Hislop created a prime minister.
What?
It's have I got news for you, made Boris Johnson?
Oh.
Do you think?
Yes.
I don't know.
He had no appeal whatsoever. His appeal as
No,
a
that'd
as
be a good
this.
show that'd be a good style of show to rip off.
It would
No, we
require
don't
you
talk about
keeping up
world
to date on the
politics.
news. It would be a whole lot of work. Writing 10 to 15 questions a day is hard enough work. And that's when they can be about completely random shit.
So
And
what
you've
is
got
the
access.
next question, Dave?
Right, the next question I've been trying to get to. Question 504. What do you imagine was bigger when you were smaller?
Oh, that's easy.
Go on.
There's this little retaining wall at the house that was across the street and one over to the right from the house that I grew up in. And I remember walking on that retaining wall, and I remember it being chest high. And it's funny when I went back and found out that no, it wasn't chest high, it was knee high. But I remember walking on it when I was 3. So when I was 3, it was chest high. But as I grew, I just always imagined that wall bigger.
You
And
made
when I
the
went
wall
back
very-
and saw it, when I went back and saw how small that wall was, I just
That
laughed.
sums up exactly what the question is. Because that's what happens. It gets into your memory as a relative thing. As a relative size. And the memory just keeps going as you grow.
I have 2 answers.
Is it Wagon Wheels or Monster Munch?
No, but I discovered that the pound shop was selling wagon wheels, and I got them, and they're not as good as I remember. So, the church I went to as a child. I went back I went out to visit the village a while ago, I went in the old church. I've done this a couple of times now, and each time I kind of think, I remember this being bigger. And I kind of look around and I realise that it's a little village church, whereas when I was growing up, that was the church. So it was this big, imposing thing.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's not. It's a small village church, and it's kind of quaint in a fun way, apart from all the culty people.
Hopswatch says the polar ice caps. Firstly, that is technically correct. Secondly, that's not the point of the question. It's not that things actually got smaller.
And my other answer is the church-aided school that I went to as a child.
Mm-hmm.
There was a wall in the playground that it used to be a real struggle to climb up. It was probably 3 times my height, but you could climb up it using the support bits at the back. I've been back there, and the wall is now at my waist height. But that's partly because I'm taller, and partly because I've cut the wall down to a third of its original height.
Seraphim says my attention span.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's a good answer.
what are we talking about?
Jen.
I don't know. Truthfully, I got no idea. My concept of distances, because I used to, when I used to live in Albany, I used to drive up to Perth regularly to visit family and stuff like that. But now I live in Perth when I go back to Albany to visit family, and I think of how long those trips used to be as a kid, and now they're nothing. And I'm like, it's the same distance. It just felt longer when I was a kid.
Yep.
Things were so much further apart. Now my world's so much smaller.
Yes. I've got to say, I mean, and oddly enough, I was thinking about this recently with the way the trains are locally to here. There's a town that is only about 4 miles away, but there's basically no public transport to it. So growing up, that town was 1,000,000 miles away. Like we only ever went there if we ever drove, which was virtually never. We always went the other way because that's the way the public transport goes. And oddly enough, there's a footpath, and my answer was actually going to be there's a footpath that goes from here to Chester. There used to be a railroad.
You live near Chester.
Yeah. There used to be a railroad, and it. I used to walk along it when. So I was allowed out very young. I used to walk along it when I was maybe 8, 9, 10. And I never got to the next town along. And in my mind, that was because it was so far away.
I've got more answers.
Just let me read what Doc says. Doc says, I'm stalling till I can come up with something more clever than my dick.
I once asked my dad if he was capable of counting to 100.
Mm-hmm.
And he said yes, but I'm not going to right now. And at the time, the concept of 100 was such an insurmountable number that I assumed that it was because it was the afternoon, and if he started in the morning, he'd be able to make it before the end of the day.
There is a dragon story about that. Something along those lines. Where a dragon challenged a man or a troll? It could be a troll. Challenged a man to a series of challenge because he knew he'd beat him, and the troll says, whomever can throw this club the furthest will win the prize. I can't remember what the prize was. It was probably a maiden. And so the troll throws this club, and it ends up over the valley, over the nearest hill, several miles away. And the man comes up and he looks up the troll and he picks up and he looks at the skirt, looks around. I can't throw this now. Troll goes, what? You can't do it, can you? Can't throw it. The moon's in the way. And the troll gave in, terrified.
My other answer is time. Because I remember when something was going to arrive 2 weeks from when I ordered it, and when I was smaller, that was an insurmountable amount of time. Now, it's May, and I don't know how this happened. It was January when I last looked.
Yes. Although, to be fair, that might be related to what's going on. I mean, I am starting to feel bad about certain age groups. I mean, right now I am feeling really sorry in the UK for 15, 16, 17-year-olds.
Why is that, Dave?
This is the point at which they should be discovering sex. And they're not. They're stuck indoors looking at porn.
They're learning better masturbation techniques, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but there should be. It's the point at the interpersonal relationships at that point in your life will affect the rest of your life.
Yeah, but I mean, interpersonal relationships now tend to start online, and they do the cyber sex. So the only thing is that it's going to take them longer to learn is actually having good sex. It's not the other part of it.
Yeah,
I do agree with you to some degree, but I still pity them.
Come on, they're all in their rooms. They're getting naked on Skype, and they're all joint masturbating. There's going to be a whole heap of teenager porn end up on the net from people who've been spying in on this shit, and I hope they get arrested for it.
Amanda, are you meditating to be able to deal with more of Dave's bullshit?
The music listening, just blowing through it.
Music listening and pain killing.
Yes.
Oh, look at that! B says our condom sales have gone up.
What do you need condoms for to masterbate with? It just doesn't make any sense.
No, they're not using them to masturbate.
I'm not answering that question.
It's to use the British terminology, it's known as a posh wank.
It is.
Right, I don't know how good
Is that
this is
actually
going to
a
be
thing?
on my phone. So
Very good.
I have seen guys do it.
Yeah.
Put
Yes,
on a condom to masturbate? Really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing.
And it actually has a name. It's called that's a thing. Called a
Yeah,
condom.
I didn't know that. That's why I laughed at it.
Okay.
Yes, that
Fucking
is.
British are weird. Weird.
We're
You've been
weird,
hanging around-
right? You want to talk about weird? You want to? It's this
What?
really weird thing. Lube to masturbate.
What's wrong with that?
It's
Hello,
really
looks
weird.
like my Wi-Fi's back. I'll be back in 2.
Okay. It's really weird. It's one of those things that's talked about in films all the time because it's something you don't need if you're not circumcised.
Yeah,
It's a
I was about to
circumcision
mention,
thing.
I think it's more for Americans.
Yes.
Better.
Okay.
Right. But it's one of those things. It's sorry. It's really weird because it comes up in films and it's taken the piss out of, and it's just really weird.
Well, I have found that it can help.
Oh no, it's not that I'm disputing that you can't. I'm gonna go no. I should shut up. Yes, it's not that.
It can make certain aspects of the experience more enjoyable, but it also makes the entire process considerably more messy.
Yes.
What, the condom?
No, lube.
Lube.
Lube. Oh, okay.
Condom usually makes cleanup easier.
I've
Yes, that's
actually
true.
found the opposite.
Except the condoms are horrible bloody things.
I've just seen what this question is, and how did we get on? How did we get some dick from there? So I'm just trying
The hell, Jeff?
Yeah,
I'm innocent about these things.
Dave is running this show. That's
Yes.
how it
Yeah, I'm innocent about all this stuff. You people are corrupting me.
You look very innocent.
I think Amanda's calling bullshit, but
I have comments.
Thinking, poor child.
You know.
I have comments, but I'm not going to make them.
Excuse me a minute.
Right, next question. Oh, no, we can't do the next question. Jeff!
what?
What do you imagine was bigger when you were smaller?
Right. Something, should I say, when I went to actually see it up close, okay, it seemed to be a lot smaller than I thought was the Colosseum in Rome. Don't know why that sprung to mind, but...
No, good answer.
Well, I'm just trying not to. I'm trying to be the polite one here and not give a lewd answer for a change.
Most of the answers weren't lewd. I don't even know how it got lewd. Wasn't me.
They were lube. They weren't lewd.
It's always you.
Actually, why am I asking that question? Jen's in the fucking call. I should know all the answer to
That's
this
the point,
already.
actually, yeah.
I actually didn't take it there, so I'm innocent this time.
I have no idea how we got there this time.
I think that was a result of me.
Badger, wasn't it?
This is a result of me.
Hey, that weren't me.
This is a result of me having to go at Boris, isn't it? They just cut my Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Right, next question. Question 506. Did I not ask Manda? Oh, bollocks.
You do this a lot.
I know! She doesn't butt in enough. All of you butt in.
She's having to mute. That's
Go on.
No, but it's like this every day, and you know it.
Manda?
You forget me. Everybody overtalks me, and it's fine.
What do you imagine was bigger when you were smaller?
You, Amanda.
See? Fucking did it.
Amanda, what do you think we overtalk you all the time?
Because I have nothing.
What do you think?
to
What's she run
say.
about? Sorry, I'll shut up now.
What do you imagine was bigger when you were smaller, Amanda?
The green in my town. Yeah, that's all I can think of. We have this really long green in my the town that I grew up in, and it used to seem every year for Memorial Day we would our parade went around the whole green, and it seemed so big, and like it would take forever to go around. But when I got older, it wasn't as big and it wasn't as daunting. So that's all I can think of. It's not fun, but something. Sorry. I want to go back to listening to Mum. Yeah.
It's okay. Math Pig had an answer for you. He said
dirty?
Math Pig. He said Math Pigs ...
Then when I got older, like.
I think he means it in a case of you thought it would be bigger.
In your imagination.
Whatever it may be.
Here? I don't know.
Talking about his beehive collection, aren't we?
Yep.
Yes.
I'd have thought so, yeah.
Okay.
Why? Where did you go with it, Manda?
Nowhere.
Oh, look at that. Math Pig. Is Manda not looking at the chat? I feel so unloved.
Can everybody stop thinking about my boyfriend's penis, please? Okay? Just stop.
No.
Who said anything about his penis? I did.
Who's your boyfriend?
Yeah.
You are, Dave. You are. What the fuck was that so funny?
It subverted the
I can't
expectation.
wait to see until Math Pig hears that.
You got Northern Irish boyfriend, English boyfriend, Australian husbands. You're doing well here, Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody here.
Polyamory is good
Yeah.
for you, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
It is kind of fun, but it can also be a disaster if you're with a lot of jealous people.
Who's Alucard pissed off?
Everyone.
Okay, fair enough.
He is literally pissed off everyone in the world.
Fair enough. MathPig says 38 hives. It's huge.
There you go.
Oh, and B says don't forget about her lesbian girlfriend.
I was actually gonna say, I do have a partner here in the country, and it's B. But yeah.
Right, behave yourselves, everyone. Sammy's in the chat, so we're not giving any more fucking ideas.
How does he arrive just after we finish talking about everything smutty?
Yeah, I mean, he missed out on the posh wank and all the masturbation and the lube. I mean, Sammy, what are you doing?
I'm sure Nerdy's keeping him.
Filled in.
Sammy's gonna have to set his alarm a little earlier.
Now MathPig's trying to fight Beth. Right, next question. Question 506. Have you ever been refused entry to a country? Have you ever been in a country illegally?
Never. No. Although I did find it kind of ironic. Like, first day of my I was thinking, not a good start to a holiday though. When the first thing that happens is your fingerprints end up on file in Colombia.
Have you considered not trying to smuggle cocaine?
Yeah, but I'd be doing that on the way out, not on the way in. It's not.
You can't get the good stuff locally. You want your own stuff that's been cut right.
I'll be funny. It'd be pretty fucking pointless to try and bring cocaine into Colombia. You know. But I swear someone must have been looking, because the last time I got on a plane anywhere, I went to Amsterdam back. Then then I go to Colombia, and I'm thinking, yeah, I think people might be thinking there's a pattern coming on here. You know.
Nobody would suspect you of smuggling drugs into Colombia, though.
No. Actually, I would tell you that though, when we left Cusco in Peru, so one of the people in our party bought a couple of back bottles of this body lotion back, and then got hauled in and confiscated, because it had enough coca in there so you could get a few grams of cocaine out of it if it was refined, you know. And it's so why don't you just confiscate the stuff? So they put fucking coca in everything in Peru.
B said no and no. Seraphim says no, never left the country, sadly. Sammy said no.
Question, by the way.
Have you ever been refused entry to a country, and have you ever been in a country illegally?
I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
Actually, I did try once to get refused entry when I was about 19 or 20. I think I followed to Italy with my parents, and I had this Marilyn Manson T-shirt on it that said "Vote Satan," and I tried to get into the Vatican with that on.
Oh gosh!
Both my parents and the tour party fucking sort of stopped me, from doing that. I was just interested as an experiment to see if I could get in wearing that.
Mm. Where are we up to? Sammy says, never left the country, unfortunately, haven't been here illegally, but have done illegal things. Seraphim says, unless you count being unable to go visit MathPig and Bill, no. Joan says, no and yes, if you consider crossing the border without ID illegal.
Which border?
Probably.
Oh no. Santi said, I was never denied entry, but I was illegal for 10 years.
Oh, that's a good point. I did go to Wales once.
How long did the therapy last?
It's ongoing.
I like Wales.
there's nothing wrong with people that come from Wales, you know. It's just the people that go to it I can't understand.
I stayed in a
Come
very
from
cheap
Wales?
hotel.
I thought we evolved from other apes.
I'm not like you, Ken.
Actually, jokes aside, Wales is a fucking lovely country.
Yeah,
Shit.
I stayed in a very cheap hotel full of people, and we got out of the lift. Me and the friends I was there with, and getting into the lift was a group of very Slavic men, the leader of which had Putin on his shirt, and it was an odd experience.
Dave, you've got to read this thing from Hobbs Watch.
I know. I was just waiting for Badger to finish.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw that.
My story was that good, was it?
Sorry, Badger, but I just saw that in the chat and I was like, whoa, that's you.
Okay.
Gotta read that.
Hopswash. I was once deported from Amsterdam, Netherlands in 1997 after being accused of being a member of a criminal organisation. What I noticed that he doesn't say whether or not he was or not.
You become cooler to me every day, Hops. You really do.
Hops, you've got to tell us which one they suspected you of being a part of now. You've got to tell us this.
This is where he's on the run somewhere.
Where does Hopswatch live now?
It's Denmark, isn't he?
I thought he was Denmark, but I could be wrong. Manda.
You're
You're muted.
Yes? Sorry.
Yes, you've been refused. Yes, you've been refused entry.
No, I've never been to another country, unfortunately. I've been stuck in this fucking hellhole my whole life. So, that's it. I'm not very interesting.
I've been to Georgia,
The country or the state?
the state.
It's
I
pretty
passed-
much just another world compared to New England. So you can say that, I guess.
It was the weirdest thing because we didn't go into Atlanta. We sort of took the freeways that sort of skirt around the outside of Atlanta, so only 3 outer suburbs. But stopped at a what the hell is what's your big shopping center thing? The lowbrow one.
You mean like
Walmart?
Walmart, thank you. I keep wanting to say Big W because that's kind of like our equivalent, but yeah, Walmart. And first time I'd ever encountered greeters. It was also the first time in America that I thought I was listening to people speaking an entirely different language. I just could not understand what they were saying through the accent. It was impossible.
Yeah.
I think I told you this story, didn't I? Where I actually was glad that I passed up on the chance to go to Georgia.
Country or state?
The state. I'm glad. Not that nothing against the state. It's just that I used to do is I used to do American Civil War reenactments, and occasionally they would get a chance to go out and do one in the United States. And obviously, I depicted the North, whatever. So I did one in Kentucky or whatever. And anyway, about a year later, they asked me, "Do you want to go do this one in Georgia?" So they obviously flew into Atlanta or whatever. The last night there in Atlanta, they go into a bar. A lot of them wearing fucking blue uniforms, and they managed to diffuse it. Say, "Oh, it was we're just American Civil War reenactors." They sort of diffused it a little bit. Then one of the idiots says, "Yeah, last time we were here, it was with Sherman, and we burned this place to the ground." And it's just, trust me, that's not something you want to say in Atlanta. Manda's just she knows what I mean by that. The way she reacted.
They're still, like,
To put it into context, Dave, it'd be like mentioning Cromwell in certain parts of Ireland. Okay, that's what it's like doing.
People are still very sore about it. They're still very proud about it. That they call it the war for state independence or southern independence.
It's not that long ago.
What?
It's not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. There was another question on QI about it as to when the civil wars. When was the last Civil War pension paid?
Oh, it's in the 1920s or 30s, wasn't it?
No, it was still being paid. Well, at the point at which the question came up
No,
on QI, it was still being paid.
No, because that's right. The last Civil War widow died 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little lot. Because I remember. But I'm guessing she must have been very, very young and married a very, very old
Yes.
war vet,
Veteran.
I think. But yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That blows my mind.
Right, you didn't answer the question though. Have you ever been refused entry, Jen?
Oh, me? No.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a
to quite
country
a few
illegally?
countries now. Oh, yeah, no, I've been to England, of course, as you know. I've been to America. I've been to Japan. I've been to India. Where else have I been? Yeah, that's probably about it. Oh, I've been to Thailand as well. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, Hopswatch clarification. I participated in an alternative EU conference. He wasn't a member of whatever organisation, and they didn't tell him.
Yeah.
And he is in Denmark, and his snake won't eat. I don't think the last point's related. Right. Have I asked everybody, or have I forgotten anyone? Badger!
I'm not at liberty to discuss my answer to this question.
What, to both bits?
Yes.
You're not meant to be in the UK, are you?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
All those countries I mentioned, I was actually in legally, by the way, not illegally.
I never had a problem getting into a country, but I was trying to find the name of the bar. That's what I was searching for on my phone. But I once got refused entry to a bar, and it was kind of a funny story because it was one of the most famous bars in New Orleans, and I'm thinking it's O'Brien's, but I'm not sure. I can't remember the name of it. But my parents were considering moving to New Orleans, and it was 1977 or 1978. And my dad was trying to show us around New Orleans and what it was like. And he said, "Oh, come." And he walks into this bar, and I'm following, and the bouncer steps in front of me because I was a minor, and I was always quite small. I very definitely looked like a minor. And so he wouldn't let me in, and my dad kept going, and I'm like, Dad, they won't let me in.
Excellent. I've never been refused entry to a country. I might have been in a country illegally.
Oh, I did refuse myself entry to a bar once.
You refused yourself. See, I think...
I approached the bar, and they had like a scanning thing on the door where you had to put your ID in it, and they would scan it and do all kinds of checks. And I just went, no.
Have you watched Philosophy Tube's video about that?
No.
You should. Good. You'd like it.
Also, I've just.
Does the Isle of Wight count?
Well, this is the thing. I've been in the I think I've been in the Channel Islands illegally because they're not in the EU.
Really?
Yeah,
They're
they're
not.
part of the UK technically, but they're not in the EU
Why would that make going there illegal?
because you're crossing a border.
You're crossing a border.
Right, I don't need a passport, or I didn't at this point in time. I did
Yeah.
not need a passport to go to France, but I was told I needed a passport to go to the Channel Islands. Even though it's technically the same country.
That's weird because I mean, even though when I last went to France, you still needed a passport to go in, and this is before obviously Brexit.
Well, this was 20 years ago, so
Yeah.
I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember being told I didn't need a passport to go to France.
Mm.
And I was never asked for my passport to go into France.
So you may have been in France illegally. You may very well have been in France illegally.
Entirely possible.
And not realised it until now.
Cherbourg was very blue at night.
Now they'll never let you back in, Dave.
What a shame.
That's probably the place
They
I've
will
been in
not.
France
They
the
will
most
fart
is
in your
Cherbourg.
general direction.
They
Hey, can you
wouldn't.
take your bouncy ball on a plane?
Yes?
Okay.
I
Really?
might have to take the air out of it.
So
How did you know I was back on my bouncy ball?
because you've been bouncing.
Yeah, you have.
Don't know what you're talking about.
We've just been waiting for you to fall off.
That has not nearly happened a couple of times. Right. Second to last question. Question 507.
Has Dave
What?
ever fallen off his bouncy ball?
He has never fallen off his bouncy ball yet. Question 507. What is the oldest thing you own?
Oh.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. I think. Come back to me on that.
Badger.
I have a pipe. It's a pipe.
It's a pipe. How
Yeah,
old
it's
is
a
it?
smoking pipe. I don't know how old it is. It's
Oh,
a
do you have a
smoking pipe.
minimum age?
It's about probably 40 to 50 centimeters long. It has a little flexible bit at the end made out of some kind of woven piece of tubing, and it's very old.
Mm.
What else do I have here? I've got
Here.
Hello.
What's within arm's reach?
yeah, I've got some very nice. I've got some very nice boxes that are quite old, and
Right. I'll give you the chat answer as well. Sammy Jenkins says, the black opal my dad left me when he passed. Doc Fearsome says, my dick. Fairly certain your bones are older than that. Richard says, my memory of being an infant nursing on my mother's breast. I can't believe you don't own something older. Alias says, a petrified log.
My husband has a coin collection, and in it there is some Confederate scrip. Yeah, Jen's got a coin too. And he does have.
1825, that one.
Yeah, he's also got some coins that are older from Europe, but they're not legible, so the dates on them are uncertain, but they are quite old.
I have a letter opener, which is made out of a bullet.
I thought you wrecked that.
Say again?
I thought you just wrecked that.
No. It's perfectly serviceable. It's made out of a bullet. It has what I think is a brass blade or copper or something like that. And I inherited it from my granddad. The bullet, it's a bullet casing. I think it may have been fired because it has a hole in the back end. But the top end, which, if I understand how bullets function correctly, that the bit would normally come out when it's been fired is still there, so it may have been a dud. Or I may be about to explode.
Oh, you may be about to explode. Santi says, I have a word I can't read. Silhouetto knife from the 30s?
Stiletto.
What?
Stiletto knife.
It's supposed to say stiletto, but it's
Oh,
not
is it?
spelled
Sorry,
that way.
that's the reason I was having a problem with it.
Oh, I've just realised I've got some pretty old croissants in my cupboard that I should have eaten like 5 days ago.
Hopswatch says, a print of also
Be right
Sprack.
back.
Oh, God, I can't even pronounce that. Does anyone want to have a go at that? Also Sprack Zara.
Where is it?
Oh, wait there. I'll put it in there.
Where in the chat? Who said it?
Hopswatch.
Zarathustra.
Oh,
From 1902. Myself. Seraphim says, definitely myself. I'm older than everything I own. Amanda.
I couldn't find it, but I have an ancient cave bear tooth.
Cool.
Oh. So is that the oldest thing we've found so far?
This is found. I have it from when I used to.
No. I meant between the group of us.
Oh, yeah.
So when's yours from, Amanda?
Oh, 20,000 years old.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no one's gonna beat that. Cool.
Is Jeff back? Oh.
Having said that, I used to have a little meteorite at one point, and that would have been quite old.
The problem you got is I had problems with these questions, okay, because you have to take an age from when it became its current form. So your meteorite, really, you'd only age in the context we're talking about from when it landed.
Yeah, but some of them have landed a really long time ago.
They have.
And mine is a fossil, so would it be?
I don't have it anymore. So.
When it became fossilized?
Oh yeah.
Which I
Sorry,
would
I'm
have
back
no
now.
idea.
Can I include something that isn't mine, that I have laid claim to, that I know exactly where it is, that belongs to no one else, but I don't technically have here?
Sure.
And there is a boulder that is full of ammonite fossils.
See, I used to have like a small meteorite pit somewhere, but I don't know what on earth happened to that. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think there's some. I think somewhere, maybe in the loft or something, or just packed away somewhere. There's some. I know there's some medals in the First World War.
What else have I got here?
I'm trying.
Somewhere in the house, and I don't know where it is. I've got an insect preserved in amber.
Ooh. And why don't we have dinosaurs
I have
yet?
No idea how old it is. That's the only problem.
Why do we not have
We're
dinosaurs?
gonna go there, Dave.
I want dinosaurs.
See, Dave's got an unfair advantage here on this question.
Why?
Because technically, you are the oldest thing you own in the house.
No, I'm not. Well, I might be the
I'm
oldest
older
thing I
than
own.
Dave.
You old boy.
Yeah, there's two people in this chat older than Dave. Don't go down the age route.
I live with a 78-year-old.
I have a silver cylinder fob watch made in 1884.
Oh,
Very nice.
nice.
that
I
needs
knew it.
repairs.
I knew I used to have some stuff from like the American Civil War period in here, but I think when I got rid of my lot of like reenacting stuff, whatever, and I had to clear out some stuff, there was some stuff I had to sell. I don't think I got any more, so I needed the money badly.
Okay, I've just got
I
a
think
glimpse of
Amanda
myself.
wins, though. I mean, her fossil's going to be hard to beat. Even if
Yeah.
I'm not sure where my amber insect is, but even if I don't found it, I don't know how old it is. You know, amber insects happen all the time. So
Well, it can't be any more than like 6,000 years old, you know, Jen.
Ring does it better.
Yes.
Fossil only proved it lived. It didn't prove it had any parents or gave birth to.
Right.
gave birth to a fossil. Although, I mean,
I'm dealing
Donald
with
Trump obviously had parents, so.
I refuse to believe that. I think he was an experiment that went badly fucking wrong.
Also, he was the source of coronavirus.
Right, last question.
I don't think you should slander the coronavirus like that, Jan.
I think he's proof that like human like life evolved from like oranges or something.
Slime.
I'd like to know how he managed to breed with Melania. I mean, obviously they're not the same species.
Oh, it's depressing. Right, last question.
Now we're all thinking about him having sex, and thanks for that.
And his little mushroom dick.
Well, goes back to a question. Back to a question earlier about sex tapes, doesn't it? You know.
I've got to send you a link to a channel.
See, it'd be worse. You know, so it'd be worse for him because obviously Putin has the sex tape of him. So.
Oh. Isn't there a sex tape with him and Putin?
No, if the rumors are to be believed, it's a tape of some young Russian lady pissing on him.
Lovely.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Can we do the last question? Please.
I don't understand the mechanics of that.
Amanda wants to say something, Dave.
No, I want Dave to go. Everybody just
Fine, I'll sod off.
No, that's not what I meant.
We can discuss the mechanics of it in detail after the stream. Right. Question 508. Would you prefer to be a giant chicken or a giant cockroach?
Giant chicken because I want to beat the fuck out of Peter Griffin.
Can we just end on that answer because it's so good?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Jeff just won the night.
We can do. We can live with that.
They could live with that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I got nothing.
There is no
Fine.
better answer than that.
Fine, in which case I will say thank you to Jen. Thank you to Manda. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Godless Granny, who I really need to get the name of. What's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly. And I knew that as well. I just can't remember it.
It's in a Twitter.
I know, that's how I know it.
That's the first time I knew that, so...
That's okay.
It's in a Twitter thing, and I knew her name.
I don't know Badger's name.
No one knows Badger's name.
Nobody knows Badger's name.
Nobody knows.
We've been on how many streams and we don't know Badger's name.
We literally know nothing
I know
about
my
it.
name.
Yes, but you don't
He's
count.
an enigma.
Hey, that's discrimination.
We
I've lost my
even
pen.
we even tried to find Bodger to ask him, but he wouldn't tell.
We found him in a mysterious pile of mashed potato.
Yes. Jen, it's references an old British children's TV program, Bodger and Badger.
A Bodger and Badger. Is that what it is? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Badger loves mashed potatoes!
I will not
Now I'm
confirm
gonna
or
have to
deny
look
whether
that
I
up.
was featured on that show.
Right, as I was saying.
Or where Bodger's hand went.
I will definitely not confirm or deny that.
But it's the reason why he's not allowed in other countries now.
I would say thank you to Kelly and thank you to Badger. And thank you to everyone in the chat. It has been a good morning. And we will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
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 Thank you.